Museum managers oversee the daily activities of the museum they manage. Depending on the size and nature of the museum, the responsibilities of a museum manager may vary considerably. At large national museums, a museum manager oversees a number of departments, curators, and general museum staff. In this case, the task of the museum manager is mainly managerial. At small museums, the museum manager may look after collections as well as carry out administrative tasks. These managers are therefore curating managers. These managers are therefore responsible for the purchase, care, and display of museum collections and exhibits. The position of museum manager is not an entry-level occupation. Extensive experience as a curator as well as the acquisition of managerial skills is needed. Being a museum manager can be a rewarding occupation, as the goal is to nurture the love of culture and learning within a community. The museum manager is in charge of the whole museum and must see that the entire institution runs smoothly. Museum managers work in close collaboration with the curators and museum technicians to coordinate displays and exhibitions within the museum. Museum managers are responsible for organizing loan items from other museums and institutions. These loan items are displayed at the museum for a time before being returned. Museum managers need excellent people skills. They are responsible for supervising the work activities of the professional, technical, and clerical museum staff. Museum managers conduct employee evaluations to identify development needs and authorize staff training where necessary. They may facilitate in-house courses for certain staff members. The museum manager controls the finances of the museum. They plan budgets and negotiate contracts for services and equipment as well as the purchase of new items. The funding for loan collections and exhibits is controlled by the museum manager. It is the museum manager's task to prepare comprehensive annual reports on the status of the museum. Other responsibilities may include marketing, public relations, and fundraising. The museum manager supervises the planning and coordinating of tours, workshops, lectures, and educational programs. Fundraising events as a means to generate income are often held. The ability to create working relationships with museum patrons, volunteers, and the public is therefore essential in this vocation. The museum manager networks with other museum and art gallery professionals. These may include historians, archaeologists, anthropologists, conservators, and other museum managers. The working conditions of museum managers vary significantly. They usually work in an office environment as most of their tasks are administrative. Working hours vary too. Overtime may be worked at certain times, especially when reports are being written and budgets planned. There may be evening meetings or other museum-run events that the museum manager must attend. A bachelor's degree is the minimum qualification requirement for this occupation. Usually, a postgraduate qualification is mandatory. To become a museum manager, extensive experience working in a museum is required. This is often gained by working as a curator. Progression as a museum manager is usually achieved by moving to management positions at larger or more specialized museums. There are employment opportunities in the private sector at independent museums and related institutions. Some managerial positions in the travel and tourism or cultural heritage sector may be an option.